Greetings, Marsh here, and welcome to episode 29 of my modded Factorio playthrough. This is part 3 of my algae processing setup. Enjoy! So how much mineralized water do we need? It's 100 every 20 seconds, which is 5, but it runs at 0.75 speed, which is 3.75, but we have 30 machines. So that means we need 112.5 water per second. And water is made in liquefier, you guessed it, the thing that mixes liquids and all that jazz. Or maybe you didn't, maybe you thought electrolyzer. I don't know. It's not a test, don't worry. This will not be on the exam. Okay, water treatment. The recipe is 100 mineralized water per second, but it runs at a speed of 0.5. So, in theory, this one machine should be able to feed everything. In theory. I believe it's going to be inserter limited, but pretty close. Okay, we need to clear some trees out of the way. Probably make some more robots while we're here. Where to produce the water? It's not too important, really. Let's figure it out based on this. Because we need to create a buffer, like we did up here with stone. Because with stone, we created the buffer because stone was coming in, but also stone was going out to make bricks. So now, instead of storing crushed stone needs to go in and crushed stone needs to go out. So first, I think I want to remove all of this. So let's put a chest here and do the... If you control and left click and click on an item, it takes all of the items out of your inventory at once that are in that item type. If you click a blank spot, it completely clears your inventory. So that's kind of neat. So now we have a full backpack to use to just pick up all of these things. Because this stone is very massive. So you see we do that, and now we're full again. So probably should place a couple of these down. Okay. This makes it a little faster to do this process. Okay, that's done. So we can pick up all this other stuff again. Get back to business. I'll leave that power out for now. That should be okay. Let's get a recipe. I'll repeat this much. Oh, it's going to be right there. We can make it work. I want things to be straight. It's okay if it's clustered as long as it's straight. So we're short on some steel chests. I'm probably short on steel now as well. Iron's backing up now. We've got completely empty machines here. Wow, that's a lot of empty machines. We are pushing this close. Whew. Can't even really select it. I am going to disconnect this steel. I have the feeling that producing this steel is sucking up our remaining iron, and I don't think we can afford to make any more steel. Alright, so if we pick these up, although, let's see. Let's put all our inventory in each of these and take out the stone. I'll just pick them all up and do a drop right there. Drop them in there. They're never going to be symmetrical, so you don't really have to worry that much about exactly where you drop all this stuff. Let's just connect this right here. I don't know why that wasn't connected before. Okay, that's going to be admit... Oh, no, it's connected. In fact, this one is actually optional. Let's see. Let's put this thing right there, since it worked before to put it there. And that worked. Put it in there, and there. Down. There we go. Symmetry. Winning. Okay. And all those should fill up. Get rid of the backlog. And then this line hasn't really ever run, but if we ever need to, we can just connect it. But let's see. Does it matter where we run this down? It doesn't look like it, so we have a bit of a choice. Although just in the middle seems good. So I'll just decide to put it in the middle here. Alright, there comes the crushed stone. Out of belts. Okay, steel pipes. Oh, it looks like it goes out pretty far. I'll just randomly place that there for now. Move this belt up further. So we would want to have a storage tank in here, just as a buffer in case this machine gets overrun. Let's do an underground. I believe that will give us more room. There we go. Place that in there. Say we need mineralized water. How many inserters? Well, how many can we put? Something like this is more or less the maximum without doing any corner business, and I try to avoid corner business if we can. That is 10 inserters, and 10 will be exactly 11.5, and I think we needed 112.5 if I'm remembering these numbers, so it's actually the tiniest bit not enough, but I'm not going to build 2 of these, especially because we have a storage tank. And once we get blue inserters, we'll definitely be able to max this machine out without problem. The machine might get... The inserters might pick up more equally from the belt if we do it this way rather than wrapping around, because inserters always pick up from the inside of the belt first. So I'm hoping if we swing it around like this, it'll work better. These will be picking up from the left, and these guys will be picking up from the right. So actually, that should be good. Alright. And now we just need to supply water. So I'm going to unhook this for now. Alright, let's get water to this thing. And I believe the closest form of water is going to be out here. So let's put some pipes down. It's a lake right there. It's pretty close. Right there, I guess. We need an offshore pump. There we go. And steel pipe. I was thinking, well, I want to hook it up and find out how fast it's going, but we're going to find out how fast it's going in a moment. There we go. It should be making our mineralized water. But let's walk by and check. Certainly there's water in the pipe, so something's happening. Oh, but we didn't hook up power, so I guess it won't be. I kind of want it hooked up through the stamp, if possible. There we go. Yeah, you see how it's just not quite enough for this thing. It's green most of the time, but not all of the time. Let's put a light there. Are they outputting fast enough? Mostly. Although, since this is version 0.15, they don't quite max out the belt properly. So you can do some belt compression just by doing the... what you do is you take the last 2 inserter points and just put underground belts there. And that makes it so you get a full clean belt. And you see this thing is going to fill up with mineralized water. Alright, well let's hook it up then. Put it in there. Now the mineralized water is going to make it to all these machines. You see how quickly this thing's dropping? Like, that's how much mineralized water needed to go into... Like, we had 5,000 and now it's almost nothing. Because it needed to fill all those machines. But to start this process, we actually need carbon dioxide. And I'm not going to pipe it all the way down from carbon production. Because that's going to be a very temporary setup. So instead, I'm going to go to carbon production and take that liquefier that's actually making carbon dioxide and take it with us. And install it up top. It only needs to be there just to put enough carbon dioxide in the system to get all the algae farms going. And then once they're going, they will be self-sufficient and produce more carbon dioxide than we need. But we're going to need some coal while we're up there. About a stack, I think, should jumpstart the process properly. So let's just stick this thing in here. Set it to make carbon dioxide from coal. Put that there and just drop the coal in. There we go. So now it's being fed to all the machines. And once it fills one random machine enough, we'll see green. Since they're all taking some carbon dioxide simultaneously, it's going to take some time. See how, yeah, this one's going first. Yep, there we go. We've got a green. So it's a fairly slow process, 20 seconds to get this going. More, really, because of its slow crafting speed. Alright, it's about to eject its green algae out. I'm already noticing a problem here that these aren't near inserters, so they're going to be limited without some kind of balancer. We're going to need to put some balancers in. There's some very rudimentary ones. But they get fed in here. And eventually it gets enough to fire up one of these guys. There we go. It's good that they both started at the same time, which means it's fairly balanced. And then out come the pellets. Then they go in. It makes carbon dioxide, and then the system repeats. Technically, it could start up like this, but I'm going to keep pumping coal in and make carbon dioxide until they're all going. But in the meantime, we can do some very rudimentary balancing here to try to use more of this belt. Where to do it? Fortunately, it's going to be kind of in the way because of the positioning of all of this. Oh, I wonder if we can just put one right here in the middle. Is that going to work? Ooh, it does. I like it. Alright, let's put them all in the middle to make sure these guys get balanced. That one... or whatever. Symmetry. I'll put him up there. Well, it's going. Let's go with that. Let's place the rest of them. When we have near inserters, this would be a lot easier to do. When you have things this big set up. But for now, we're going to have to deal with balancers or lane splitters that just aren't really that great. But they'll work on the short term. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Not everything's green yet, so we're not quite running at full power. Looks like we've just about finished pumping it up with coal. But things are about all green, so... Are those not connected? Oh, it's not connected. That's why those aren't going. Problem solving. Boom. Now I have the feeling we're not going to need this guy anymore. Everything should be green soon. And every one of these lights... I mean, this is a perfect ratio, so in theory, every one of these lights should be green. Although we might consume all of our carbon dioxide before we find out if it's balanced or not. Or fill up the tank before we find out if it's balanced. Well, they're all green, so now it's probably going to take, you know, a good 40 seconds or whatever it takes for these to process, or 20 seconds. Well, this side's been going. These are all green. These are all green. I like that. Seems like there's a little backup right here. But it's working. That's a lot of green. I love it. That's a good ratio so far. Fantastic. It probably really helps to have these corner ones to output to the side. So it has a somewhere else, output has somewhere else to go. It's possible that this thing's placement in the middle is causing problems. I think it is. I mean, it looks pretty good, but let's try something cute. I'm going to try something cute. Let's put a box here. Put some yellows in here. No limit on the box, just see if that clears up. I'll put one square on the box. Let's see if that clears this up and gets it so all these machines can run. Because these are all running pretty good. It's just, well... No, that's pretty good, actually. It'd be better to have circuit network connected to these and tell them to only put inside the box when the box is empty. Because unfortunately right now they're picking up all the excess that makes it by. Yeah, it's possible that this center one might not be at full efficiency. It's pretty close though. I like it. I like this setup a lot. It seems like it's working really well. I mean, sometimes you're not going to get full greens on everything, but mostly green and a couple of flickers here and there. That's fine. Flickers are okay. You just don't want something to be constantly one color, but that is by and large green. Look at all that algae just pumping through. Actually, it's building up. It might help to do the underground trick for these last ones. Just to make sure they're getting maximum output. That's one problem with algae, is that it's very large. Like the quantities of things you move is very high. So it could be, you can find yourself inserter limited or belt limited pretty easily. Look at that. Isn't that like... Oh! I just like to just watch it. Just watch all the little green orbs move around and get sucked into machines. Fantastic. I love it, I love it. I know I said that already, but I love it. Okay. The last step to this process here is delivering the carbon dioxide. And as far as the way to send the pipe down, we could try to send it here and share space on the belt. But I'm thinking, even though this is going to be kind of awkwardly in the way, it's going to be very easy. And it's really only going to, you know, bite us if when we have a car and we might accidentally hit them. So on reflection, I probably should put them here. But on the previous save file, I remember I went to the right and not the left. So I'm just going to go to the right to copy the original file, even though it's probably not ideal. It's just, it's what I did before, so I want to try to keep things consistent. Alright, let's get the pipes from up here running down. Is this going to be in the way? Probably. I mean, I could just move it over the side. Oh, nope, it works. I'm going to leave it. Looks good to me. See, did that work properly? Or did it skip one? Sometimes it's hard to tell if a tree gets in the way. Okay, it looks good. There we go. And this part, I'll just connect using a couple of pipes. If we hit that, we hit that. It's not really going to make it less likely for us to crash into it if there's an underground in the corner. And now it's being delivered, and it looks like production is going. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness, I was thinking I could unhook it for a few minutes and it would be fine. Look, it's gone. But the belt is completely empty. Is the factory about to run out of power? Yes? I don't know. Look. It's just barely there. It's going to run out. Another thing actually to mention is power usage. Like these algae farms, like actually producing energy in this way, or using algae to transform rocks into carbon dioxide, is actually fairly energy intensive, but it's not the end of the world. It's still worth it to do it, because energy consumption is, regardless, a small percentage of the total resources you put into refining fuel. Alright, it looks like it's about to max out, but any moment now, it should be coming down the belt. Yep, there it is. Looks like temporarily, though, the factory is going to go dark. Well, this would be, though, a test. See how our satisfaction is extremely low. It's going to go to 0. But because of our steam battery, it doesn't matter. And actually, since this belt's going this way, it's feeding this anyway, but I didn't think I'd get to show the steam battery in use to show how it works. So the factory is... looks like it's only using steam out of a couple of steam engines, and then there we go. 0. Factory is dark. But here comes the carbon. And because we have the steam battery, the inserters will still work like normal, even though we have no power. But now we do. And that's exactly why you do a steam battery or something like it. I just call it the steam battery. I didn't see someone else's thing. I just made it up. But I don't know. It's probably nothing new. It's been done 1,000 times before, I imagine. But it's something good to do for your factory if you can figure out how. So there we go. There's one other thing, the setup, I remember doing previously, so I figure I should do it now because I did it before. And the problem is carbon dioxide has a hard time getting down here. Because if you look, see how this machine is like red? it wasn't running because see how the pipe has nothing in it? It's like empty. But we know mostly for a fact we should have enough. But if you follow the pipe down, sorry, it's flashing a little fast, but see how it's like we have a little bit, and then over here we've got more, and then up here it's like maxed out. We've got tons. So I think previously I put a pump here, but let's see, do we have one made already? I guess I made it before, but not on this save file. Let's try putting a pump down at the bottom and seeing if we can suck up that carbon dioxide and fully power our carbon machines. So let's just, right there. And it needs power to run, so let's get some wires here. See what it does for the, oh yeah. See how it's filling up the pipe? And there we go, pipe full. Now those are running at full power. It's interesting how see how this pipe is empty? And the reason for that is because the fluids, well, they're fluids, but the carbon dioxide is flowing downhill from the storage tank. And that's why these pipes are empty-ish while that pump was full, because this thing isn't completely full. I don't know if, the only thing I'm not sure about is if this box business right here is necessary. It might not be. It looks symmetrical, so I like it. So yeah, there you go. Let's check the next save file and see how we did. So we see we have the pipes hooked up in a very similar fashion, but like I said, the pump isn't down here, it's up top. And you can see on the mini-map, I put it in that same upper corner. So here's my setup here. It's not quite as dense. The way to look at how big a setup is how many algae farms. Our other setup that we did on the previous save file that's now gone forever. Bye. Superior design I'll never see again. It was 30 algae farms. And right here we have 24. So I miscalculated on this design. This is exactly 210 carbon dioxide a second. But it doesn't take into account the carbon dioxide that goes back into the algae farm. So it's actually not quite big enough. It's very symmetrical, you'll have to say. Huh? I like it. But it is inferior, I think, in design to that other one. But it gets the job done. It's, you know, got the same steps. The ratio isn't quite perfect, I think. I think these guys just don't quite max out. Plus, I didn't put corner inserters here, so these corner assemblers aren't being maxed out properly. But this stuff is very similar. There's really nothing noteworthy to say. It's done the same way. And with that, all of our major construction projects are now complete. We are very nearly ready to work on the bus. There's a few more odds and ends, I think, that need to get fixed for the next episode. But the good thing to mention is that this is the last of the recreations, of the reenactments. With this episode being done, I have now fully recovered from the hard drive failure. So every subsequent episode from this will be recorded post-failure. And there should be consistency, more consistency in the episodes. And luckily I won't be recreating the same thing I've already done. So hopefully the quality of episode improves. I feel that it will, so hopefully you agree. So yeah, that's the end of this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. I know that algae processing was the first big thing that I think I've tackled on this playthrough. I hope I didn't confuse you too much. I hope it made sense and that you'll be able to integrate algae processing in your next factory. That's all the time we have for today. And until the next episode, I will see you later. Thanks for watching.